I'm Qingyun. Welcome back to my living room lessons series. So last week's Ravel Ondine, I received many very positive feedbacks, and I was so happy to see many comments and that people found it very helpful. So I was very happy to see it. I will try to continue to record more videos as we are all at home, and to spend this time to share with you guys as many helpful videos as possible. So please let me know what you're interested in and what pieces you are interested to hear and what technique or anything that you're interested. Please share below in the comment section so I can record it for you later on. And today my topic is going to be how to play the notes very clearly and very musically. I have gotten a lot of comments about this particular dilemma, I should say, and I just decided to make a video about it today. So oftentimes I hear my students perform, and sometimes when you have faster passages with fast notes and the notes are not very clear, and what do you do in those times? So today I'm going to share with you how I practice and just a little bit of what I think about how to solve this problem. And number one thing is, of course, when we play the piano, it's a very physical thing. We're literally like athletes, and if you practice many hours a day, you have to be very careful of protecting the health of your hands and your body. And when you first start learning the piano, your hands are not very strong, and at that particular time you can start to think about playing the piano in a very scientific way. So when you first start, I want you to try this exercise, which I have found to be very useful, which is if you at any table or at the piano, you can put your hand on the lid and simply do this motion like this. I'm going to lift this so you can see a little bit better. So at the piano lid, put your hand, the pad part of your hand, and just do like this. And try to lift your entire body's weight with your fingertips, like this. And of course, you should not do this to train your fingers for 20 minutes or an hour because you will hurt yourself. But this is just a simple way where you can try for a few seconds to feel how it should feel like when you play the piano, to have a lot of strength at your fingertip. I have found this exercise to be very useful, and because when you are holding on to the piano lid, the rest of your body should be very relaxed. So meaning that your hand, your fingertip, they have a lot of strength, but at the same time, the rest of your body should be just holding on with your fingertips, not holding on like this. Because sometimes I see students when they perform, they are so tight in the arms, and they're so tight in their palms and also their wrist. And without having to even look at their posture, I already know that they don't feel very comfortable because you can hear it in the sound. And the sound, as I said in the previous video, the sound should be able to breathe. So meaning that when you play the piano, any sound that you produce, unless you want to produce a sound that's like suffocating, which sometimes in certain composers and repertoire you need that. But however, in general, when you play a musical piece, you would like the sound to be breathable, like you want to breathe. So the sound itself should have air in it. So when you practice an exercise like this, it allows you to feel how it should feel like holding on, giving the strength of your body at the fingertip. So if you can try that, that will give you a sense of that. And then after that, since we're using this exercise as an example, we want to move it to the keyboard. So when you start to play, let's say a scale, let's say a C major scale, you want to focus on all your strength on your first joint, which is right here. So when you play, you want to give all your strength to the fingertip. Okay, let's say if you're a beginner at the piano, you want to try holding on. Like, try if your finger is able to stand like this, to make sure that your fingertip is standing. And from this basic, you can practice more and more to train your fingers. I know there are so many different ways of performing technique. There are different schools, and some says that you do like this. It does not matter what kind of schools that the technique come from, but the most important thing is to have strength at your fingertip. And I have found that it's very useful to practice slowly and extremely musically, because sometimes we hear fast passages that perform without any mistakes, and they are very fast and clear. However, they sound very mechanical, and you also don't want to sound like that. You want to sound fast and clear but musical. So how do you practice that? I have found that it's very interesting if you can try to hear the connection between two notes. For example, I'm going to use an example from Chopin's Third Sonata, the final movement. You can hear that between the notes, it's important to have that connection. Otherwise, it becomes mechanical, such as you don't want it to sound like this. Especially, let's find another example, also from Chopin's final movement of the Third Sonata. Make it as musical as possible using the same principle as what we just talked about, which is to put all of your emphasis on the tip of your finger, and then to have a connection between notes. So this is a slow motion of what I just played now. And you will see that between the notes, there's a lot of emphasis. And I feel like when I am playing the piano, my entire body is working. It's not just the fingers or the wrist. It's the entire body. You should feel like you're almost like you're dancing, or you're giving a hand massage. It's literally like I am giving so much of my strength into the keys to make it sound extremely musical and clear. And I have also found that besides the three principles I have mentioned, which is to practice with a lid and to do your first joint practice, and then to have the connection between the notes, the fourth principle that I found to be very useful is when you practice, to be very aware of your entire body being in a relaxed state. So meaning that, let's say we practice a scale. When we practice a scale, you notice that you would like the palm and also your wrist to be as relaxed as possible. So when it's relaxed, its natural state is to be flat. If you try it this way, like this, just put your hands on the keyboard. Try this way. It's not a very comfortable and natural position. So when you have a very relaxed hand, it should be like this. Naturally relaxed like this, and then simply have the strength at the tip of your fingers. Let's try a C minor scale. So if you can do that, to have very flat wrist, meaning very relaxed, but simply using the strength of your fingers to play as musically as possible, that should make your notes sound more clearly, which is to have this kind of clarity. And it's not going to happen overnight. It takes a lot of time, and I think that it's very useful to simply listen very carefully when you're playing to make sure it's pronounced, it's spoken and pronounce your notes. Just like when we are speaking, you cannot understand when somebody has a mouthful of food and you cannot understand. It's just like playing the piano. You want it to be very clearly pronounced and very clearly spoken. So that's my thoughts about how to practice and the notes clearly and the principles I have. And please leave your comments below and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you next week.